that, girl? It's Tanika's world. It's Tanika's world. Tanika's world.
Hey everyone. So in this video today, this woman is going to be talking about how a good old boy actually was constantly harassing her. Yes, I'm going to say harassing, nitpicking, whatever you want to call it. And this guy took her car. Before we jump into this video, let me read the disclaimer. These videos are for entertainment purposes only. I'm not claiming the information shared is true or false. Everything is based on personal opinions, stories, or experiences. Please do your own research. Don't take anything here as fact. So now after reading that, you guys, let's jump right into the video.
I'm in a new state going through the Criminal Justice Academy. This was during the time that Obama was president. He's still my president, by the way. But this was during the time that he was president, and this was a red state. And of course, you know, you're going to have the audacity. If y'all think that I'm antisocial at work, I'm even more antisocial when we're going through the Criminal Justice Academy. Been there, done that. I already know everything that comes along with that. Now, I told y'all I don't talk about race, religion, politics, or sexual orientation at work. I find that to be very unprofessional. I already know how you're supposed to maneuver through the academy. You're there to do your 13, 15, 12 weeks, whatever it is in your state, and get on through. And that's what I was there for. I just need to get on through. That's it. That's all. Nothing more, nothing less. So the good old boys decided that they were going to talk about politics and race and make little comments, and I'm ignoring you because you're really no factor to me. Depending upon the department that you work for, you may be required to ride with your fellow officers to the Criminal Justice Academy, and you are not allowed to leave. In my case, my county didn't have enough vehicles for us to drive separately, so I opted to drive my own vehicle. When you get there, you're not supposed to leave unless you have permission. I also bring extra toiletries, snacks, food, anything that I think that I'll possibly need because, again, I've been here, done this, so I know what comes with this, and if we can't leave, I'm not about to be asked out. Because I drove my own vehicle, and I do like to eat out, I would get permission here and there to leave the premises, go do a food run for some of us, go pick up snacks, whatever the case may be. But those good old boys kept making little comments in regards to Obama and, you know, First Lady Michelle. And baby, once I caught on to that, don't you ask me to bring you shit back. You can starve. I don't care how thirsty you are, drink your spit. One day, one of those good old boys decided that he was going to make a comment about my vehicle. Is that a Hemi in that thing? Oh, I bet you got some hefty payments on that. I didn't confirm or deny because it was none of his business. Later on that day, I got a little knock on the door. Are you going to be going out tonight to get anything? I am. Oh, well, we need you to bring us back. You need who to bring what back? You need me to bring something back? And you're not even asking me, you're telling me? Oh, no, absolutely not. I will not be bringing anything back. A few of us would get together and have study sessions. So the next day, we have a study session. Now, I told y'all at the academy, you have inmates that work there. They're the ones that's going to be cleaning the rooms, etc. An inmate comes to where we are and lets me know that these officers were pulling a prank on me. One thing about it, I can't stand no childish ass adults. So I'm like, what do you mean pulling a prank on me? He said, I don't know exactly what they was going to do, but they did mention something about your car. I heard them when I was up in the trash. And I was like, okay. So the inmate leaves, and myself and my fellow officers that are sitting there during the study session, we're all like, you know, giving each other the, here we go with this bullshit type look. So we finish, we're going back to our dorms. We see the officer that's supposed to be pulling a prank on me. And of course, they give that little dumbass smile. I don't have no smile on my face because while we smiling. I go in my room, taking a nice hot shower, grab my snacks, get in the bed, lay on my side, start rubbing my feet together. I'm watching TV. I'm trying to doze off. I'm preparing myself because we have DT in the morning. The next day comes, we're in DT all day, which is very hard, by the way. It is very hard depending upon the Criminal Justice Academy that you attend. So I'm getting slammed around all day. I need some Tylenol, some Excedrin, some Aleve, something, right? So I'm like, okay, I'm going to get some clearance to be able to go do a little run tonight. The few people that I'm going to pick up a few items for, they give me their little coin. I head out to the parking lot. My vehicle is not where I parked it. Back to the T. So I told y'all I was in DT all day the day that my car was not in the same spot that I parked it. I'm like, wait a minute. Maybe it's me. Maybe I have gotten my head slammed so much today that I can't remember where I parked. So I'm walking around the parking lot. I don't see my vehicle. I don't I don't see my vehicle at all. So I go back inside of the building and I bring one of the officers out and I'm like, do you see my vehicle? Like, is it me? Am I tripping? No, there's no vehicle out here. This is where we parked if you drove your personal vehicle and you were going through the Criminal Justice Academy. There's no vehicle out here. I go back inside. I go to the person that gives me clearance to leave off the premises. We go outside. We walk the parking lot. He doesn't see the vehicle either. So now I know I'm not sleepy. I'm not crazy. The vehicle is not here. That's 1, 2, 3 people that's verified my vehicle is not in this parking lot. So we go back inside, and of course, people are being nosy, and it's obvious that my vehicle is missing. Now, while we're discussing what the heck is going on, good old boy comes up with his little crew, and he's like, Hernandez, maybe it was repossessed. Maybe it was repossessed. I'm like, what? Maybe it was repossessed. Maybe that's why the vehicle's not there. I said, there's no way that my vehicle would have gotten repossessed. I mean, well, you never know, because I'm pretty sure it's some heavy payments on that thing. I said, first of all, my vehicle is paid for. I paid for my vehicle in cash. I said, see, you're worried about the wrong thing. I'm trying to find my vehicle. I'm not obligated to answer any of your questions. Do you know where my vehicle is? If not, get out of my face. The person that gave me clearance calls the major. The major comes out there. He's like, let's check the parking lot one more time. I'm like, we've already checked the parking lot. He said, well, 10 eyes is better than 8 eyes. And I'm like, he was like, yeah, because I got 4 and y'all got 2 apiece. So 10 eyes is better than 8 eyes. And I'm like, okay. So he was like, yeah, vehicle's not out here. So while he's talking, we're walking some more. And now we're walking towards the parking lot that the instructors and the people that work at the academy, where they park. My vehicle is in their parking lot. And he was like, that's the vehicle that's your car right there. And I'm like, yeah, that is my car. He was like, why did you park back there? I said, I didn't park my car back there. I promise you, I did not park my car back there. I know exactly where I parked my car. So, of course, now he's going to roll the cameras back. When he rolls the cameras back, he sees the good old boy. The good old boy and one of the other little followers with him. They have taken my vehicle from one parking lot to the other. And they did this at a time where somebody else had clearance to leave. One of their little buddies had clearance to leave. Well, I'm not even going to say one of their buddies. One of the people that they started using went back there with them when they removed their vehicle and moved my vehicle. So, how did you get the keys to my vehicle? They told the maintenance man that they locked their key in their room. And rather than him verifying that this room belonged to them, he allowed them into my room. They took my keys, moved my vehicle, and then put my keys back in my room. Y'all keep in mind, I'm just giving y'all a brief synopsis of what happened. I'm running through this story. So Major is now questioning them, asking them, why did they go into my room without my permission? Why did they take the keys to my vehicle and move my vehicle? Like, what was the point in all this? So he was like, oh, it was just a prank. It was just a prank. Whenever we would ask her to go get something for us, she always told us no. But the other people, she'll go get them something. Like, I feel like she's discriminating. So we thought that we would just play a little prank on her. So Major said, that is not a prank. That's theft of a motor vehicle and burglary. This little motherfucker says, oh, well, we just thought that we would teach her a lesson. I lost it. Teach me a lesson. Teach me a lesson. How are you teaching me a lesson? I'm not obligated to go to the store and get anything for you. I don't have to do anything for you. What lesson exactly did you think that you were trying to teach me? So Major is like, look, that's unacceptable. Like I said, that is burglary and theft of a motor vehicle. And you can go ahead and start packing your belongings. So now they're upset because they have to pack their belongings. They already know they're about to get sent back to their institution. At least I thought that they were about to get sent back to their institution, because not only did he tell the person that took my keys and moved my vehicle to pack their belongings, but he told the other individuals that were part of the conversation to pack their belongings as well. He called their commanding officer, told them everything that happened, and told them which of the officers would be returning tonight and that would need to report for duty the next morning, because it was a 3-hour drive back to where they lived. And so he's asking about that one good old boy. He says, oh, he won't be returning tonight. He's going to jail. So he's like asking him, why is he the one that's going to jail? You know, he's a good officer. He's young. It was just a prank, so on and so forth. Major was like, absolutely not. This is not just a prank. This is burglary and theft of a motor vehicle. This wasn't a prank. And the fact that he wants to teach somebody a lesson, he's not an instructor. What lesson is he trying to teach her? He doesn't instruct anything here. He was like, this is my academy. I run this show. I'm the captain of this ship. And I said he's going to jail. Their commanding officer is going back and forth with Major. Major's like, look, if it was the other way around, you wouldn't have no problems pressing charges against Hernandez. You wouldn't be sitting on this phone telling me how good of an officer she is, how it was just a prank, she's young, da 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 da. He was like, you would be pressing charges. You would be doing the same thing, if not worse, than what I'm doing with your officer. So he's going to jail. When Major got off the phone with him, Major told me, he said, look, there's a lot of stuff that I've noticed since that little group has got here. You sat back, you let them have it, you ignored them, you don't pay them no attention. You came to do what you were supposed to do, which is to get through the academy. He said, I'm not just going to terminate them. He was like, now those other ones, they can do whatever they want to do. But since this one thinks that he is the, what is it called? The Grand Wizard. A lot of people think that you can't have a criminal past and become an officer, especially having to go through the academy. But see, they do exactly what they want to do for their people, right? They find little loopholes for them to be able to uphold these positions. I mean, y'all can see the president. You know what I'm saying? So the Grand Wizard already had pending charges. The Grand Wizard had been charged previously with CDV, and his pending charges were for CDV. So Major made sure that he did everything that was necessary to teach him a lesson, since he thought that he was teaching me a lesson, because I didn't want to be his slave and go and get things that him and his little crew needed. Like, who did you think you were? You came to the academy as an officer and you left as a felon, all because you wanted to teach me a lesson. And like Major said, the decision isn't up to her. The decision is up to me. And I'm pressing charges. Yeah, I'm pressing charges. And no, I didn't drop any charges on my end, because like you said, if it was the other way around, they would have had no problem pressing charges and making sure that I left there with the felon. So, joke's on him. And yes, he went to jail and he went to prison. Yeah, he sure did. Because that next CDV charge was a felony and he wasn't going to beat that. And on top of that felony, now you have this burglary and this theft of a motor vehicle. Yeah, he went to prison. I don't feel bad about it. I still don't feel bad about it.
You guys, this story is crazy as hell. Basically, he's racist. We're just going to keep it real here. And he pretty much peeked at this lady the whole time she was at the academy, because just keep it real, because of her race. And she will be nice, like she said, and go run errands for herself and other people. And it's the fact you constantly nitpick at her, talking about Obama, Michelle, and just other things in general. We clearly know by him being racist what the conversation was about. And then to have the audacity to come to her like, hey, can you, we need you to go get us some stuff. Like she said, you didn't even ask. Like she told him no, because I wouldn't get him anything either if you mistreated me and talking to me crazy. And then to the fact of her telling you no, you take it up on yourself, you and your little friends, to go move this woman's car from her parking spot to a whole nother area at the academy. And the fact that gave you it away was when you came up to her like, oh, well, maybe your car was repossessed. Like she said, no, my car's not repossessed, it's paid for. And a lot of, just being real, a lot of racist people feel like that black people can't afford things, we can't buy nice things, especially down south. Now, I'm not sure other places, but especially down south, they feel like we can't afford things. They'll literally come up to you like, hey, how was you able to get that? Or me and my fiance always get asked, where you guys work at, because we own a home and things like that. They don't think we can afford things. So for him to do that to her and tell me, oh, it's just a prank, and then she didn't go do when I asked her to get us some stuff, like she's not obligated to get you anything. And shout out to the Major that had her back and pressed the issue of him getting in trouble along with his other little friends and kicked them out of the academy. And for his, I don't know, I can't remember, his lieutenant or whoever, trying to have the guy back and like, oh, it's not that serious. Like the Major told him, yes, it is serious, because if it was the other way around, you will be trying to press the issue, and he will be pressing charges on her if she would have did something like that to him. And I'm glad she did press charges, and he actually went to the pen for it, because he already had one felony, and that made another felony. So like she said, she don't feel bad about it. I'm glad that he served time for that, because sometimes you have to teach people lessons, because when you don't, they feel like it's okay for them to continue to do things to you or to other people. So I'm glad everything went well for her. Shout out to her, shout out to that major. You guys, do you think that that was wrong? Which I know was wrong, but I just like to hear other people's opinion, because some people might be like, well, it was just a prank, and you might have some people like, no, she right. He shouldn't have been doing that. I'm on her side. So what do you guys think? Tell me down in the comment section how you feel about this. Have you ever experienced racism in your lifetime? You can put the information or the story, down in the comment section. That's it for this video. Bye, everybody.